is Imperial Clud, Reverend Smith, Dixie White Knights. Just want to take a little bit of your time. I think abortion is just okay and it's permissible, just because they don't want to have a young'un. Well, it ain't. It's another thing that we push, we're pushing against. And you got these homosexual liberal groups out there like Mississippi Rising Coalition who shouldn't even exist in my great state of Mississippi. Lesbian, what's her name, Leah Campbell out there wanting to spread her garbage about our organization and say that we're a group or band of bigots and we're this, that, we're the other, well, let me tell y'all something. Mississippi Rising Coalition, y'all not gonna take down our flag, and we're gonna fight.
All right, folks. That is the, is he Imperial Wizard or what?
Imperial Reverend by his own.
Imperial Reverend.
Imperial Reverend.
White Knights of the Ku Klux Klan of Mississippi?
United Dixie White Knights of the Ku Klux Klan. Clud Smith.
Well, now, folks, it's no joke to Rip Daniels. He represents the Ku Klux Klan, and let me just tell you, they have a history of being terrorists. Church burners and baby killers. And I don't exaggerate. We received that this morning from the person he called out in that, I guess, email, Facebook post, whatever.
Video, through email.
And I wasn't shocked. However, that's pretty bold. It's a nice little video showing cross burning. And, of course, these slightly frumpy men adorned in their robes and pointy little hats. And you hear this guy putting Miss Leah Campbell with the Mississippi Rising Coalition on notice. Now, let me just tell you, the coalition is a non-profit, non-partisan charitable organization based here on the Mississippi Gulf Coast. They have been very active, ladies and gentlemen, with trying to change the Mississippi state flag, among other things. Just simply equal opportunity and representation of all people, all ways, all makes, all genders. And a total fight has been about social justice for the most part, and increasing citizens' engagement in this thing we call government. I have Miss Leah Campbell on with us right now. Good morning, Leah. How are you?
Good morning. I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I was. First, let me apologize for your receiving this. I'm apologizing for, should I say, on behalf of the reasonable thinking people here in Mississippi. How did you get this post? Was it just posted to your Facebook page, or?
No, I woke up this morning, as I usually do, to check email, and it was in my inbox. This isn't the first time it's happened. I've gotten previous emails and previous videos. However, this one was, I would say, the most direct.
Yeah. How do you feel about that?
It doesn't intimidate me. I want to say that first and foremost. As a matter of fact, it just reinforces that what we're doing is the right thing. Anytime you have the Ku Klux Klan taking the time to make a 10-minute video and email it to you, you know you're doing something right.
You know, it sounded like it was also a recruiting tool, and that he was talking to his members. Do you know this guy, Clud Smith?
I don't know. At least I don't think I do. It's the invisible empire, so you never know.
Have you been contacted by him before?
I've not been contacted by this particular individual. I was contacted by the previous Imperial Wizard, Brent Waller, multiple times. However, I believe Brent Waller has been excommunicated from the Klan. I'm not quite sure what happened there, but yeah.
Yeah, how would you know?
Right.
Did you contact law enforcement on this or no?
Yeah, I have a contact within the FBI, and I sent everything to you, so I sent that to him. And I'll be having a press conference today at Ocean Springs City Hall at 11 o'clock, and we'll put law enforcement on notice at that time as well.
You know, I guess being threatened for doing what you do is not unusual, is it, Leah?
Oh, no, it's a regular occurrence.
Why do you do it? Why do you put yourself out there like this?
It's who I am. It's what I believe. It's that simple.
Well, I want you
We're
to
all
know.
human beings.
Yeah, I know, but there's a lot of folks who would not. Trust me, I know quite well what it's like to exercise your free speech and become the target, literally. And who would expect that? Here, a sleepy little town like Ocean Springs now, seemingly has become almost a target in itself for people like this. Did you think it would come to this, Leah, when you started participating and even originated the Mississippi Rising Coalition?
I had a suspicion. I mean, we all know in Mississippi what the history is. We live in the state with the most recorded lynchings of black people. So anytime you speak up and speak out for equality and for justice in Mississippi, you're putting yourself at risk. So yeah, I had an idea it might come to this.
I'm very fond of Ocean Springs. I mean, up until the last administration, I tell you, and I still feel it's at the top of the list of one of the most beautiful places in Mississippi, and I dare say even on the coast, and people there never felt any apprehension. Are you seeing tensions increase now in Ocean Springs since this whole flag debate?
Oh, absolutely. It's evident in the past 8 months at every city council meeting. There's evidence of the tensions that are occurring here. Just this last Board of Aldermen meeting, we had multiple residents get up and speak out about their fears of the increasing tensions in town as a result of the mayor and the Board of Aldermen mandating that the flag be flown in our city. It's unfortunate.
What do you say to those who feel you're to blame for that?
I say that's a nice deflection tactic, but let's remember that the flag was down for 12 years under the previous administration, and there were no public calls, no outcry for it to be put back up. And on day one of this current administration, the mayor took unilateral action in putting the flag up without consultation of the city and the citizens or the African American community, which would be most impacted by his actions. So I unequivocally reject that the tensions are my fault.
Claude Smith, the Imperial Wizard of the White Knights, indicated that he would fight, but he went on to say that he would fight in the courts. Rather, should I say, tiptoeing around what typically is the Klan's calling card. Do you feel that these folks are potentially violent, or no less than any other gang?
Oh, they're a terrorist organization. Period.
So do you have some concerns here about what happens next there in Ocean Springs as it applies to you, your children, or your family?
I do. I'm always concerned. I'm always taking precautions. But as I said previously, I won't be intimidated.
Tell us about the people there in Ocean Springs. There are some tensions. I find it hard to believe that look, folks, up until recently, Ocean Springs was known more for its art. Walter Anderson Museum. I mean, it was almost like a little art commune there, between that and excellent food and dining locations and
Atmosphere.
A walkable town with sidewalks and so forth. Now, it's not to say that in the past it's not had some problems, because, I mean, we talked to the descendant of a man who was lynched there not long ago, and actually she's going to be down soon. We're in contact. So it's not that being in Mississippi you hadn't had situations. However, this seems to be increasing. So you have an opportunity to talk to many of the town folk, the city mothers and fathers, of folks who've been there for years. What are they saying about all this?
In private conversations with many people, they are unhappy with what the mayor and the Board of Aldermen have done, but they've yet to reach the point where they're willing to, speak out publicly about it for whatever reason. Some have political reasons or economic interests or social interests and so forth. So I think there are a lot of people in Ocean Springs who are unhappy with what's happened, but we're just kind of riding this out and taking a let's see what happens approach.
Yeah. Role play number 63, and I'm not going to play much of this because a lot of what he was saying there in his 10 minute or so, I should say produced little video there, fairly well considering. It was advocation for people to join the group and so forth, and he suggests that that even if one wanted to donate, it was okay. He wasn't soliciting, so to speak. But play number 63 here.
But you can call us bigots, you can call us racist, you can call us whatever you want to. Keep hollering. And I want y'all to go on social media and look up this Mississippi Rising Coalition and look at the stuff that they standing against. They're talking about all this take it down flag and take it down, and then you got all these other liberals and niggers and everything else on there hollering, take it down, I'm offended. Well, you need a history lesson. That's what you need. You don't know what that flag represents. Oh, another thing, it was this organization also was trying to get our they were the ones that supporting them tearing down these Confederate monuments. Now, we were quiet for a little while, but you see what happens when we get quiet. They start acting up. When we settle down, they start tearing down Confederate monuments. These fags start having these parades. Stuff is just happening that just, they think they can get away with. Now, we all know they're scared of the Klan. They know that we've been around a whole lot longer than these liberal groups. We've been around since 1865, and we know when to get quiet, and we know when to do what we got to do. Right now, it's time to rise. Now, Whitey out there listening, I want you to go right now to our website.
Did he say Whitey out there listening?
Yeah, Whitey. Talking directly to Whitey at that point.
Who's Whitey?
Potential member.
So how do you react to that, Leah? He said that they are scared of the Klan.
No, we are not scared of the Klan. As evidenced by the work that we've been doing over the past 2 to 3 years here in Mississippi.
Yeah.
And that work will continue.
You know, let me just tell you this. I am forever in support of you. There's no doubt about that. But you do need need people around you who are capable of protecting you now. And hopefully you're taking precautions. Are you?
I am.
You know, and I'm incensed actually by the audacity of him to actually seek you out and actually send this. That whole little having the crickets and the whatever the bullfrogs behind them, all of that orchestration to me is a bunch of Yahoo terrorist propaganda that typically will get some guy from out of the swamps of somewhere in and around Mississippi, Pascagoula or Van Cleve or wherever, maybe even St. Martin. I get also calls from people. And it's designed to actually generate membership as much as it is try to intimidate you. What happens next now? So obviously you've contacted the FBI. This state, however, has yet to put the Klan on any kind of terrorist list, and they hadn't even considered the Klan as being a gang. Although there is no, should I say, national coalition of the Klan. That was disbanded after Mike Portak sued them there in Alabama. Now they're just little small enclaves, claverns of Klan members. So what now, Leah? What response, if there would be a response, you would give to this Clued Smith, Imperial Wizard of the White Knights of the Ku Klux Klan?
Well, as I said, we're going to hold a press conference today at 11 o'clock in front of City Hall at Ocean Springs. I will be putting the City of Ocean Springs officials on notice, asking them if they stand with the Klan or do they stand with the residents of Ocean Springs. We want the flag taken down effective immediately from all properties, public properties in Ocean Springs. And I will also be calling on the governor to remove the flag from all public properties across the state. The governor needs to let us know, does he stand with the Klan or does he stand with the people of Mississippi?
Yeah. All right, Ms. Leah Campbell, founder and president of Mississippi Rising Coalition. I appreciate your courage, your bravery, and I'm always at your back. All right.
I appreciate the time. Thanks.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Need to take that seriously. Need to take it very seriously. You know, more than likely in the next 2 weeks here during spring break, there will be maybe 60, 70,000 young people, most of which are African American, coming to Mississippi. And trust me on this, Clued Smith is still out there. Where is this guy that supposedly they're clavering?
He does not reveal their location, just in general Mississippi.
And cowards that they are. You got to understand, ladies and gentlemen, in and around the coalition being started, there were leaflets that were passed out in and around Ocean Springs. Remember that, Ro?
I do.
Around the same time, you know. These folks don't know their history. What they know is some revisionist, rebel without a cause kind of concept, and all of them are missions without a. They feel they're on a mission from God, and God is Robert E. Lee. If they knew their history, they would know that every step of the way, Robert E. Lee and the rest of the Confederates were in fact defeated, and have been defeated with every onslaught they've had in my great country. Better be careful what you ask for. I mean, we get our fair share of comments, threats, the like. You know, Mississippi is still Mississippi, and when I say that, I'm not blaming every person in Mississippi, but there are some of you who will listen to this show who happen to be Caucasian or even African American who will foolishly and naively believe that, okay, all is well as long as I keep my mouth shut. When the reality is that evil thrives when good people do nothing and say nothing. And those individuals who are whipped the easiest are usually whipped the most. Now, look, I'm not picking any fights here. I'm just simply one guy that's expressing his view, his right, free speech. And I am certainly confident in my opinion and confident in my ability to defend it. You want to retort, fine, I'll allow you an opportunity. But we know what the terrorist organization called the Ku Klux Klan stands for. There's a history for it. And anywhere I should see the Klan, I'm going to expect it's a threat. I'm just telling you. You can't may like and play like. There's representations of individuals and of people, ladies and gentlemen, who can be reasoned with. And you don't. What you do is to defend yourself. And you be prepared to do that. I am. I make no bones about it. There's no sense in conversating. I don't want to hear it. When David Duke reached his hand out to me in front of the Biloxi City Hall, I didn't shake his hand because I had picked another spot. And if he blinked wrong, then that would have, it would have been a whole different ball game. Because let me just tell you this, just where I am. And this is from my father, Sandy Daniels, and his wife, Amanette, who are now deceased. Once someone has told you and demonstrated to you just how much they hate your guts, you believe them. Your task then is to never ever trust them and always be prepared to defend yourself. And I don't play like Melee. I'm not trying to save any hearts. For those pastors who feel you can kill someone with kindness, that takes too long. And sometimes you'll go before them. All due respect. I'm here for my children and my grandchildren. And I will do literally any and everything within my power to defend them, like any other American. That, my friend, is a right. The problem we have nowadays is that obviously Clude Smith doesn't know that this is not 1960. There are those of us who are more than prepared. And you need to rethink your position. This young lady, Caucasian lady, is there in Ocean Springs, Mississippi. You can't get any further south than Mississippi than Ocean Springs now. I think this is the most southern tip. Maybe Pascagoula. It's what and what. Just down the street from where Mr. Stewart was hanged. We talked to his great-grandniece. Now, don't act like somehow or another this can't happen and won't happen. Last lynching that took place, ladies and gentlemen, happened actually within an hour of where Leah called from, we chatted with. Right there in Mobile. Man had KKK carved in his chest. 1998. What was that? 20 years ago? Yeah. All right, folks, I'd like to cover a short period of time. With that in mind, ladies and gentlemen, the president now is going to change the census. He is. We're going to get to that. Also, the guy with the machete there in Louisiana who decided he'd steal a few children. You didn't know about that. And then there's Stephon Clark, the situation there in Sacramento, getting heated. No mention at all of what happened in Texas with the man who was shot down in the street, with the exception of the officer's name has been given.
Yeah, but still little to no coverage on Danny Ray Thomas's death.
Yeah. Now maybe it's because his sister is also suffering from mental illness. But that to me is the most egregious miscarriage. First, justice, and secondly, I guess, police procedure. Where is it? Deputy Cameron Brewer. All right, let's go to the phones here. A lot of folks standing in line. I'm going to go to Hezekiah. Where are you? Right there. Good morning, Mr. Hezekiah.
Good morning to you.
Doing well, sir. How are you?
Oh, just great. But I'm listening to some things there in a way that the people, he's going to take the people for Congress to change his ways and these preachers to change their ways and to let Jesus go back to Bellingham Obama. President Obama's mother is Caucasian and his dad is black. That's the beginning, like Adam and Eve's version. And like he's the only one that's gonna change everything because he can't hurt the blacks and he can't hurt the Latin blacks people. Because he's related to the world.
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about what is now and what happened and caused what's going on now. It's a new millennium. It's all about the meat ruling. And these people going to try to change it and fool and put the Spanish people in here, take our identity and give it to them. And everything I see now is that protect your identity.
All right, Hezekiah, let me. I'm trying to keep up here, and you don't have a whole lot of paragraphs or periods. I'm just trying to keep up. So.
Okay, for yesterday when I spoke about that guy, someone probably did him something and molested them or promised them something, and after they did what they did, they didn't give what they promised, and so it made him pissed off, and he did what he did. And they'll never check up on that because the police probably who shot him would know him personally and tired of being bothered with him.
All right, Hezekiah.
Thing that is simple.
It sounds to me like you got it all figured out, my friend. I appreciate you calling.
Okay, but people don't go to church on Sunday. Fool's Day.
All right.
Maybe that was a reference to Saturday being the church.
Did you keep up with it? Hezekiah, I appreciate you calling. It was just kind of hard. You kind of
went in a couple different directions at once there.
Yeah. Maybe I'm a little slow. Can I go to Big Chief? Big Chief, good morning. How are you?
Hey, thank you for my call. Real Bible say we're at war with the police and the KKK. We got some good Caucasian women and men out here and some good cops. Very few. But if they sit back and let this stuff and see this stuff and don't say anything, then you'll know this. I'm going to put you in that same category. But what I ask for black women and black men in this country is to respect the law. You get pulled over, and you got to respect the cop. If you want to solve the situation, then that's no problem. But if you got a hostile police, you better be ready to defend yourself. Arm yourself. And I'm not saying we'll get out here and kill cops, but protect yourself by any means necessary.
Well,
I'm going home.
I hear you, Big Chief, but the reality is your greatest weapon is your mind. Sometimes your greatest weakness is your mouth. You really need to listen to that one. You know, some people just don't know when to shut up, and I don't mean you, Big Chief, but there's sometimes there's a time for talking, and there's a time for swinging. I think Malcolm X said that, actually. But can I go to 2 Cents here? 2 Cents, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. How are you today, sir?
Doing well, sir.
So what's the big outrage today? The flag?
Well, did you just hear the Ku Klux Klan?
I just heard somebody talking about, I don't even know what he was talking about.
Well, he sent, well, obviously you chose not to listen to that portion of it.
No, I heard that part. I heard the part about the flag.
Yeah, Mississippi Coalition. In other words, Cud Smith with the Ku Klux Klan is now recruiting individuals to go against Leah Campbell with the Mississippi Coalition. Who is it?
I appreciate all their activism and their and all that. In the flag, I'm indifferent to it. All these years, 20 years ago, we were talking about the flag when you were on the beach. I'm indifferent to it now. I understand, and if it changed, it wouldn't bother me. But it's going to take the people of the state of Mississippi to vote. And using the stick instead of the carrot, I think is bad. You can't beat people into changing the flag. You got to change their minds.
You do understand that the people of Mississippi never voted for that flag. You do realize that, don't you?
Wasn't it up for referendum a few years ago?
No, it wasn't.
Well, they should have a referendum. They should have a state of the people of the state of Mississippi to end all this.
Well, what you have to have,
vote on it.
well, and I wouldn't
You don't
necessarily,
want that, though.
I wouldn't necessarily disagree with you, but what you want to have is not to vote on that flag. What you want to have is actually Mississippians design a banner.
No,
Now,
you want to have an elected official just change it. That's what you want.
Well, what I want is for us not to be represented by a banner that is unwelcoming. It's a hostile.
You said it earlier. There's 70,000 people coming down here, and I'd imagine at least half of them were here last year.
Well,
it apparently hasn't changed their mind.
well, you do understand that there's more in Mississippi besides that, and there's a reason for coming. Hang on a second.
And I think it would help us.
The whole reason for Mississippians coming back to Mississippi was to change it. I'm going to give you the name of one in just a little bit who came back into enslaved Mississippi and changed it. You do?
Enslaved Mississippi?
Yeah.
Fully enslaved?
Well, no. The point is that I'm going to give you a history note of why there are those coming back. Well, you can call it talking point, or you can call it history. But let me just tell you this: it won't ignore your ignorance. Your ignorance of, well, obviously, let me just tell you, the people of the state are deciding. They've been deciding. The people of this state decided to secede. Do you agree?
I agree they did, yes.
Yeah, all right. Okay, well then consequently, obviously, they're not looking out for the best interests of all the people in this state. Appreciate it. 2 cents. We'll be back.
Every day, more than 10,000 people are approaching retirement age, and many of them are not financially ready. Are you ready for retirement? Do you even want to retire? Would you like to do something else and still earn a good